Buongiorno amici, sono Danielle, bentornati, welcome back to Learn Italian for Travel. Today's video and lesson is going to be on two really important verbs. Questi verbi sono importantissimi, and you might have seen them and you might have studied them a little, but I'm going to talk about the ways that they're different because they both mean to be. So these two verbs are irregular. That means that you need to just memorize the conjugations for the forms. And we're going to go through all of the conjugations in just a few minutes. So if you haven't watched the video yet on subject pronouns, I would recommend that you go back first and watch that before you watch these videos, this video, because I'm not going to go into depth talking about the subject pronouns. Va bene? Okay, so stare, and as always when I'm teaching, I'd like you to, at home, repeat after me. It just helps for you. You need to be able to practice saying it as much as you can. So, ripetete, stare. Va bene? Essere. These are the verbs in their infinitive form. That means that it's before they've been conjugated. So these both mean to be. But like I said, they're used in different ways in different contexts. But if you look up here, I also put that stare means to stay. So there's a distinction there with that verb. So it can also mean to stay, meaning in a location. Va bene? Ok, cominciamo. Guardiamo qui la coniugazione del verbo stare. Potete vedere bene. Hopefully you can see it well. Okay, so I'm just going to say the conjugations and then you repeat after me. So again, this is stare, means to be or to stay. Allora, ripetete, io sto, tu stai, lui, lei sta, noi stiamo, voi state, loro stanno. Bene. So I said the subject pronouns before each of the verb conjugations, but remember, you don't have to. I can say sto, and that translates to I am. So if I say io sto, that means I'm emphasizing that it's me. Io. Va bene? So the most common use when you're going to hear the verb stare probably the most is when people ask you how you're doing. Okay? So when you're talking about how you're doing, you're going to always use the verb stare. And the question is going to be framed like this. Come sta? Come sta? And there's actually different ways that you can frame this depending on who you're talking to. So if I say come sta, that means I'm talking to you who I don't know very well. You, one person. If I know you well, you're a friend of mine, you're my brother, my sister, my cousin, my colleague, I would say come stai? Come stai? Because that's the informal you form. When I talk to you all of you collectively, it's a group, it's a plural form, so I would ask you, come state? Come state? How are you all doing? And then there's lots of different responses. We're not going to get into that in this video. We will just look at this one where we conjugate stare for the io form. So you can say sto bene, grazie. Sto bene, grazie. I'm doing well, thank you. So bene here is the adverb. So you always use bene and male to describe a verb. And again, there's another video on that, but just a little note there. Okay, so use stare to talk about how you're doing. Va bene? The next time you're going to use stare is when you talk about a location. And usually the location is going to indicate that you're staying there. So the context means, yeah, I'm staying there. Come qui, okay? Stiamo a casa. Stiamo a casa means we're at home or we're staying at home. We're going to be here for a while, okay? Il prossimo esempio, stanno in cucina. Stanno in cucina means there in the kitchen. So usually with stare too, it's referring to something that has a more permanent location. So you maybe we're talking about le forchette. Le forchette stanno in cucina. They are in the kitchen. Va bene? Okay, so that's how you're doing, physical location, but more of a permanent location to indicate that someone or something is staying. Okay, and then the third way that you're going to use stare is you're going to use it to say something is about to happen. So you're going to conjugate the verb, you're going to follow it with the preposition per, and then you're going to follow that with an infinitive verb. So l'esempio qui, stai per partire, and I hope you're repeating still at home, stai per partire. So that means you are about to depart. You are about to leave, maybe to go on a trip or something. So stai is the to conjugation, right? So that's you singular. So stai, preposition per, infinitive verb. So let's try another one. Let's say we're about to eat. So we are about to eat. So come si dice? You have the conjugations here. If you don't know what the verb to eat is, I suggest you learn it. It's very important. It's the verb mangiare. So come si dice? We are about to eat. Stiamo per mangiare. Stiamo per mangiare. Did you get it? Bravi. Okay, bene. So l'ultimo esempio qui, the last example here is we're going to use stare it's called the present progressive tense. So if you haven't studied much Italian, I'll explain it to you like you're just beginning here. In the present tense Italian, you can use the present tense to indicate that you're doing something in this moment, but you can also use the present tense to mean that you do things in general, right? So like if I say, let's use the verb mangiare again because we just used it. So if I say io mangio, that could mean I am eating, I eat, or I do eat, right? Well, we all eat. So but in general, it could be a more of a generalized meaning like that. So when you use this present progressive form, it means that you have to be doing it in the moment. There's no generalization about it, okay? So you conjugate the verb stare, and then you follow it with the verb in this gerund form, which I'm going to show you how to form in just a minute. But you see, we use the verb again, mangiare, and we change the ending are to ando. So that's what you do. And I'll show you the formula for all of the 3 verb groups. So, rivedete, state mangiando. State mangiando. You all are eating in this moment. That's what that means, okay? So if I want to say she's dancing, okay, the verb is ballare. So see if you can figure out how to form that gerund form from the verb ballare in the infinitive. Did you get ballando? Benissimo. Okay, so that's it. So then I said she. Did I say she or he? I think I said she. So conjugate stare for she and then add that gerund form. So you would say sta ballando. Sta ballando, and that means in this moment she is dancing. Bene? Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to form the gerunds for all the 3 regular verb groups. Allora, so I already talked about the ARE verb group. So if it ends in ARE, then it's going to be replaced with ando. So, and we just did this example with ballare. So the gerund of ballare is ballando. And what the ando translates to in English is ing, dancing. Sto ballando, I am dancing. Va bene? So for the ERE and IRE verb groups, they have one ending and it is endo. Endo. So replace that final part of the infinitive, ire with endo. So for example, if you have the verb leggere, the verb to read, the gerund is leggendo. Leggendo. If you have the verb dormire, which is the verb to sleep, the gerund is dormendo. Dormendo. Allora, come si dice they are sleeping? Stanno dormendo. Va bene? Come si dice you all are reading? State leggendo. State leggendo. Va bene? So there are irregular gerunds. Fare is a really common one, and so the root changes, and so the gerund is actually facendo. And dire is another one, so the gerund is dicendo. Va bene? So those are two really popular ones. Another one, bere, is bevendo. Those are three common ones that are used pretty often. So we're going to keep going. So we've gone through now the uses of stare. So you're going to use it to express how you're doing. Physical location, meaning more of a permanent, indicating staying. You're going to use it for the saying that you're about to do something, or someone is about to do something, something's about to happen. And then you're going to use it for this present progressive, which means that something is happening in this particular moment. Va bene? Allora adesso guardiamo il verbo essere. Essere è un verbo molto molto importante perché anche si usa nel passato prossimo. You also use it when you're forming the past tense. So you're going to use the verbs avere and essere for performing. It's called the present perfect, and it's to express the past tense, that some isolated event happened. So you really want to memorize this verb. So let's go through the conjugations of this verb. Ripetete. Io sono. Tu sei. Lui, lei è. So look how the e is written there with an accent. If you've seen e without an accent, it means and. So you can't tell when people are speaking because they actually sound exactly the same. It's just e. But when it's written without the accent means and, with the accent means is. So, yeah. Andiamo avanti. Noi siamo. Voi siete. Loro sono. Bene. Notice, io sono, loro sono. It's the same conjugation. I don't know why, but it just is. So in the context of what you're saying, you're going to be able to figure out who the subject is. You can put the subject pronoun in if you want, but you're going to see in a minute that you'll be able to identify which conjugation it is based on whatever follows the verb, whatever else is next. So there's also another word that is very similar to these two, sono, but it's written with two N's. So it means sleepiness. It's sonno. And the pronunciation is different because of the double consonant. You're going to rest slightly longer on that sound. So you're going to say, if it's sleepiness, sonno. If it's saying I am or they are, sono. So all of this is going to take time for you to develop. But because there's these little details within Italian that do actually change words. You can mean one word, but you actually say it in a different way. But all of this with time. Va bene? Okay. So, guardiamo qui. Let's look at the examples now when we're going to use essere. So, il primo esempio, sono Daniel. You heard me say this in the beginning of the video when I introduced myself. Sono Daniel. So, use essere when you're saying your name, when you're introducing yourself. You could also say mi chiamo Daniel. That works too. My name is Daniel. But pretty commonly, people use essere. Okay? Il secondo esempio. You're also going to use essere with location. So here's where it gets a little confusing with stare. Just think of stare as meaning more of a staying a longer time in a place, or more of like a permanent kind of association with location, and essere as more of like maybe fleeting or more temporal. So l'esempio qui è una domanda, it's a question. Siete a Roma? Siete a Roma? Are you all in Rome? Va bene. Il terzo esempio is time. You're always going to use essere when you tell time. So it's going to either be in the singular form, like the example here, or it's going to be in the plural form using sono. So it depends on the time, if the time that you're communicating is a singular time or a plural time. And I'm going to talk more about that in my videos on time. I'm not going to get into a ton of detail on that here in this video. But the example here is è mezzogiorno. È mezzogiorno is it's noon. So if I want to say a plural time, like 2 o'clock, I would say sono le due. Sono le due. Literally, there are two. Everything about Italian, it has to agree, and it's very literal. So in English, we say it's two, but in Italian, you have to say there are two. Okay. E l'ultimo esempio qui is using essere with adjectives. So every time you use a descriptive adjective, whether you're talking about a physical state of somebody, an emotional, psychological state, describing things using colors. Colors are adjectives, nationalities are adjectives. Every time you use an adjective, you're going to use essere. So this is different than in Spanish with the verbs estar and ser, because they can both use adjectives. If you studied Spanish, you know that. And I was very confused when I first started studying Spanish because of this. So this is different in Italian. So every time you use descriptive adjectives in Italian, you're going to use essere. So l'esempio qui, siamo contenti. Siamo contenti is we are. Content is a cognate. It's a similar word, so you can tell what that means. We are happy. And I'm going to come back to this and go into depth with the adjectives and endings of adjectives to hopefully give you a little bit more clarity with adjectives, because they're kind of tricky with the agreement that they have to make with nouns. But for now, I'm just going to give you a few more examples of ways that we use essere. Allora, profession, whatever your work is, use essere. You say, I am this. So, sei professore. Sei professore. You are a professor. Are you? Maybe, maybe not. Io sono professoressa. Sono professoressa. So essa is a thing that's added on the end of a lot of job titles to indicate that it's the feminine version. So you can have dottore, dottoressa, or avvocato, avvocatessa, professore, professoressa. So è così in italiano. So profession, you're also going to use essere. Il secondo esempio qui, to say where you're from. So the question to ask where are you from is di dove lei? Or if it's informal, di dove sei? Or if it's plural, di dove siete? And the response is always going to use essere as the question does. Sono di Milano. Sono di Milano, non è vero per me. Questo è vero, questo non è vero. Io sono di Chico. E la terza esempio qui is also using adjectives. So anytime you're describing anything, you're going to use essere. So, rivedete. La borsa è blu. La borsa è blu. The bag is blue. So blue is an adjective. It describes la borsa, the bag, and then essere is in the middle of that for the description. Okay, adesso guardiamo più agli aggettivi. We're going to look now more in depth, like I said, at the adjectives, at the endings, and how to formulate them to agree with the noun. Allora, qui ho due liste, two lists of adjectives. So, I thought it would be easier to think of the adjectives in this way, as there's certain adjectives that end in O in the singular masculine form, like these, and there's other adjectives that end in E in the singular masculine form. So you can't tell what an adjective is, which group it belongs to, by looking at it out of context. So I do recommend that you get some kind of book that tells you what the adjective is in its singular masculine form, because once it's in, when you're describing people, you can't really tell and it would be good for you to have a reference guide. So I do have my book, The ABCs of Italian Travel, or there's plenty of other books out there as well. So this is just a random list that I compiled just to show you these adjectives that end in O, okay? So, rivedete, bello. Bello means handsome or beautiful. Rivedete, brutto. Brutto is the opposite of bello. It means ugly or something that's bad. Like if there's a bad situation, that something bad is happening, you could say che brutto. Che brutto. Not che male. Don't ever say that. Male, remember I said earlier, is an adverb, so it has to describe a verb. Contento. Contento is content. We already saw that one. It means happy. There's other ways to say happy too. This is one of them. And the last one here is a nationality, because nationalities are also adjectives. Allora, rivedete, americano. Americano. Okay, so with all of these adjectives, there's 4 choices of endings. If it's in the singular masculine form, it's going to end in O. When you make these adjectives plural, that is going to change to an I. And that plural means that it's either a group of all guys or it's a mixed group of girls and guys. So mixed genders takes the masculine ending. But if you're describing a feminine singular object or person, the ending is going to be a. A in Italiano, e in English. And then when that changes to the plural, the a, English a, changes to an e, or if it's Italian, a changes to a. I know that's super confusing because the sound is different. I should just pick one or the other. Let's pick the Italian. So o goes to i, a diventa e in Italiano, okay? So all of these have 4 choices based on who you're talking about. And then this plural ending of e, it has to be all women or all girls that you're talking about for the plural. So this group is a little bit more complicated than this group right here. This group that ends in e in the masculine singular form, it only has 2 choices, singular or plural. That's it. There's no distinguishing gender with these. So you see them here. I, let's do it in Italian. E diventa I, e diventa I. So sometimes it's hard to tell who you're talking about maybe, but you'll be able to figure out based on context whether it's a group of all girls or all guys. So guardiamo questi aggettivi. Rivedete, triste. Triste means sad. Intelligente. Intelligente is intelligent, it's smart. Grande. Grande, big. Another adjective, canadese. Canadese. I picked these 2 because sono nata in Canada. I was born in Canada, so technically I could say sono canadese, but I haven't lived there since I was like 4 months old. So I've lived in California most of my life, so I would say probably sono americana. See? Okay. So all of these adjectives, like I said earlier, if I said triste, I could be talking about him or I could be talking about her. Lui è triste, lei è triste, because there doesn't distinguish gender. If I say tristi, it has to be plural. But again, you don't know if you're talking about a group of girls and guys, or just girls, or just guys. So we're going to look at some sentences now so we can continue to look at how to figure all of this stuff out, because I know it's a lot. Okay, so all of these sentences are using essere because we always use essere with adjectives. So the conjugation of essere is in the beginning. I didn't include any subject pronouns, and then I put not all of those adjectives, but some of them I used to we're describing people, okay? So we're gonna figure out together who the subject is, who we're talking about, okay? So, numero 1, rivedete, sei contenta. Sei contenta. So, cosa vuol dire? What does that mean? What are we saying there? Think about it. Say it out loud or just think it. You're saying you are happy, right? But who's the you? Is it a girl or a guy, or is it a group of girls, or is it a group of guys? Like, because you have to know who you're talking about. Well, if you know that say, you remember that say is you singular. So it has to be either a girl or a guy. It can't be plural. Okay? So then if you remember that contento was in that group of adjectives that in the masculine singular form ends in O, then you know that when it ends in A, the English A here, that it has to be talking about a girl or a woman. Also, the adjectives that end in E in that singular form, they only have two forms, either end in E or end in I. There's no ending in A in that group, right? So if I say sei contenta, I'm saying you as a woman or a girl are happy. Okay? Numero 2. Sono belli. Ripetete, sono belli. So we talked about this earlier when I said sono, it can either be the io conjugation or the loro conjugation, but you'll be able to figure it out which one it is based on the context. So you should be able to figure that out looking at this sentence, right? Based on belli. Because belli ends in an I, and an I is the plural form, right? In both sets of adjectives, ending in I always means plural. So if we say sono belli, we have to be talking about the loro conjugation. See? Si. Because if we use the io conjugation, it would never end in I. It would either end in O or A. I would say sono bella or sono bello. Sono belli. So who are we talking about? Is it a group of all girls, all guys, girls and guys? Well, with the I ending, we know that it's the plural masculine. So it could be all guys or it could be a mix of girls and guys. Va bene. Numero 3. È intelligente. È intelligente. So we know that è with the accent could mean three things. He is, she is, or you formal are. So we know that it's singular. And then the E ending, we do know that. Well, the E ending, we also know it could be plural, right? If it's feminine plural, but it can't be because we're saying a singular, he, she, or you formal are, right? Okay, so then here you actually can't tell who you're talking about because it's one of those that ends in E, and I said that there's no gender, there's just singular and plural. So this sentence could actually mean he is intelligent, she is intelligent, or if I'm talking to you and I don't know you well, it could mean you are intelligent. Ok, come va? Bene ancora? Ok, abbiamo quasi finito. We're almost done. Numero 5. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. Siete tristi. Siete tristi is you all are sad, right? So siete is plural, you all. Tristi ends in an I. So triste, pero that was on the list that ended in E in the singular form, right? So that is one, looking at this, you can't tell if you're talking about a group of all girls or the masculine plural ending where it could be girls and guys or all guys, because it's just either singular or plural. Allora, numero 5. Siamo americane. Siamo americane. Siamo vuol dire we are, right? Noi siamo, we are. So who are we talking about? You can tell by the end here, americane ends in that E, and that was in the group that there were 4 choices. So that has to be we are a group of American women or girls. It's the feminine plural. L'ultimo, siamo canadesi. Siamo canadesi. It's the same conjugation, so we know that we're talking about we, and then there's the I ending, so we know it's plural. But again, that was on the list of the adjectives that ended in E, where there's no gender distinction. So we could be saying we as a group of all guys, as a group of girls and guys, or a group of all girls are Canadian. Okay? Basta così, abbiamo finito. So hopefully this helps you, not confuses you even more, and feel free to write comments. Tell me, if you have any more questions about any of this stuff. Tell me maybe more videos that you'd like to see me do. And click subscribe, because when I make more videos, then it'll automatically tell you that they're up and going. And if you click that little bell, it'll notify you right when it comes out. So, buono studio e ci vediamo presto. Ciao!